We celebrate failure and we reward success. And the reason why we have done that early on in the company is that we want innovation at SimplyCast, and we want to allow every member of the team to make mistakes. If you are punished by making mistakes, chances are you're not going to innovate, and chances are we're going to fall behind as an organization. So we always celebrate failure. But when you succeed in our company, you will get rewarded either monetary, promotion, or just a pat on the back. So that is a model that we've created early on and we've stuck with, and it's been really good to us.
This is The Entrepreneur Way with Neil Ball. Unlocking the secrets of successful entrepreneurs 7 days a week. Subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Twitter at Neil D. Ball. Napoleon Hill said the power of the mastermind is the driving force. To discover how you can unlock the potential in your business using the power of a mastermind, go to mastermindunlimited.com. And now, here is your host, Neil Ball.
Hello, it's Neil Ball. Thank you so much for joining me today on The Entrepreneur Way. The Entrepreneur Way is about the entrepreneur's journey, the vision, the mindset, the commitment, the sacrifice, failures, and successes. I'm so excited to bring you our special guest today, Saeed El-Darahali. Before I introduce you to him, though, I have a little quote for you. Noam Chomsky said, "As soon as questions of will or decision or reason or choice of action arise, human science is at a loss." The Entrepreneur Way asks the questions so we all get the insights, inspiration and ideas to apply in our businesses. Saeed, welcome to the show. Are you ready to share your version of the Entrepreneur Way with us?
Yes, I am, and thanks for having me on the show today.
Thank you for coming on the show with Saeed. Saeed El-Darahali is the president and the CEO of SimplyCast, a leading provider of self-service multi-channel marketing services, empowering small businesses to create, manage and track their own online and offline marketing campaigns. He is the driving force behind SimplyCast's all-in-one marketing solution, which has grown to serve clients in over 175 countries. Saeed brings over 9 years of management experience and a strong interest in strategic partnerships, corporate financing, strategic growth, operations and sales, and marketing management to his business and the IT industry. He enjoys sharing his experience in growing a business from the ground up with startup companies. Saeed, can you provide us with some more insight into your business and personal life to allow us to get to know more about what you do and who you are?
Sure. No, again, thanks for having me on the show, Neil. Again, my name is Saeed El-Darahali, the president and CEO of SimplyCast. SimplyCast started back in 2009. Our goal is very simple, was to basically help every business, small, medium, or large, to communicate with their customers using their preferred mode of communication. As you can imagine today, and you're listening to the show, you have basically been bombarded with so many different communication channels. Your voicemail is a channel, your email is a channel, YouTube is a channel, Facebook is a channel, Twitter is a channel, and the list goes on. And small businesses have been struggling for many, many years to actually communicate with their customers using that preferred mode of communication. Corporations, Fortune 1000s, have the capabilities, the resources. However, small businesses didn't. And this is where my vision came up, where we wanted to really create a simple solution that's cost effective, that's not going to break your bank, to allow you to communicate with your customers using everything from email, SMS, voice, fax, your CRM technology, online chat, and everything else in between. And this is what SimplyCast is about. My vision for the company, and from a personal entrepreneurship perspective, is I'm looking to make an impact. And communication was something that I kind of grew up with since I was on the internet since 1991. And I saw that is a major disruption that we need to work on to allow the small businesses to have access to the same type of solution that a big corporation has. And that's really my life dream, is to allow you as a business to be able to grow your business without breaking the bank and giving up a lot of that hard-earned dollars and pounds that you're creating back to another company that requires a huge amount of effort and time and money to launch your campaigns and your solution. And that's really the story of SimplyCast. I'm a father of 4 young kids, all under the age of 10. And I guess a little bit of background about myself. I used to be in the Canadian Armed Forces when I was 17 years old, and I have a Bachelor of Computer Science, Business Administration, Human Resource Management, and an MBA, Master's in Business Administration in IT and Finance from St. Mary's University, right here in beautiful Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Okay, thanks for that, Saeed. Saeed, can you just give me a little bit more of an explanation? I mean, I understand that your software, it sounds to me like it sort of connects with all these other pieces of software and gives I take it is that's what it's doing. Could you just give us an example of how somebody would actually use that?
Yeah, so I'll start off with a statement that our customers have used in the past, and then I'll give you an example of how somebody's using our application.
Okay.
Our customers usually say, as Google is to search, SimplyCast is to communication. So when you do a search, Google doesn't really care what type of search you're looking for. You put in your information, and hopefully it will give you the answers. Similar to SimplyCast, we're any type of communication that can happen with our technology, which marketing happens to be a subset of that communication. An example of what our customers are using it for example, we have an organization that has used our application specifically for debt collections. So any customer that's behind on their bill, using our CRM and our voice, SMS, and fax and email technology, it will send them various reminders of where they're at in the collection process. You've missed your first bill, an email will come out and will be sent to you reminding you of your bill. The second basically phase of it, if you're 30 days overdue, you're going to get a voice message. The third, you're going to basically, if you're 60 days overdue, you're going to get an email. And then finally, maybe if you're a business, you're going to receive a fax basically telling you that your account is going to potentially be shut down if you don't pay up within 90 days. So that's a pretty interesting example that some of our customers are using it. Other customers, similar to the people that are probably listening to the show today, are using us for email. So email marketing, email newsletters. Other businesses are using it for SMS, for couponing, basically sending a reminder that this is an opportunity that they should purchase, especially discounted, or an opportunity where there's a reward of some sort. So our system has no specific use case. It's basically, it fits the specific needs of your business. And that's why we created SimplyCast almost as a toolkit that meets the demands of your business, but it's not a straitjacket that allows you to fit into the way we do business.
Mm-hmm. So when you talk about email, for example, is it using your platform for the emails, or do you interface with other people's platforms?
No, we actually own 100% of our platform, and we own everything we own our back-end emailing infrastructure and the front-end emailing architecture.
Okay, all right. Thanks for explaining that a bit more. So what do you enjoy most about what you do, Saeed?
I think the biggest enjoyment for me when I wake up early in the morning is coming to actually meet with my team. My team is some of the best people in the world that work really hard every single day. And working with them just feels like a second family where we're working together to make that huge impact. So that's been my biggest enjoyment of coming to work every day at SimplyCast. And I guess my second one is serving my customers and ensuring that they meet the needs of their business. Every single day we receive probably anywhere between 30 to a couple of hundred feedback messages telling us, how well we're doing, or if there's an issue. People basically give us a note if there's an issue with a specific component that they would like us to improve. So reading, a 5 out of 5, almost 95% of the time is really a great way to start the day. Mm-hmm. And then, focusing on the people that rate us below 4 and 3 and sometimes a 1 out of 5 when they have an issue with the software. And then we kind of get really moving to ensure that that's being solved. And we do that pretty much every single day.
Mm-hmm. And what is it that drives you?
What drives me is making an impact. I think, allowing small businesses around the world to have access to software that only big businesses have access to is what really drives me, because it gives them the capability of growing their business to something that's bigger than what they thought they could without having to break their bank.
Mm. And how do you relax when you're not working in your business?
I actually play with my kids, so everything from Xbox to we go swimming. Sometimes, we watch movies together, depending on the day, and various with 3 boys, basically trying to separate them from, jumping on each other.
And do you have any entrepreneurial role models?
Actually, my mother is my entrepreneurial role model. She's, as you can imagine, she's the CEO of the house. She gave birth to five of us, and she managed to work as a teacher, raise us well, and keep us honest. And she is my role model every day. I look up to her, and she's done very, very well. In my opinion, she's the number one in the world.
What a great answer. Saeed, can we talk about the time before you were an entrepreneur? What difficulties did you have to overcome when you started your business?
I think knowing everything that you need to know about a business when you start is probably the most difficult and most challenging for anyone to start a business. We're never born entrepreneurs. We're never born business people, and we're never born engineers. And trying to figure out all the things that you need to figure out to start a business is probably one of the hardest journey that I've ever had, but it was a rewarding journey because I've learned a lot, and I've been applying those skill sets since I was 14 years old.
Mm-hmm. And did you have any difficulties that delayed you in starting your business?
I think every hump in the road is a delay, in my opinion. But starting a business was straightforward. Selling is very hard, as you can imagine. Once you learn what your customer pain is, and once you figure out your value proposition. But these are words that I didn't know about when I was young, and I probably knew about them only 10 years ago.
And what mistakes did you make that slowed your journey?
I think I made tons of mistakes. Everything from not investing in the right customer, selecting the wrong customer target, putting money where you shouldn't have put it in, and not having enough money when everything started working. I remember at a young age I started a cotton candy business, and I was at the age of 14, and I couldn't drive in Canada until you were 16. So I had to come up with a pretty neat idea where I had my father buy a truck and basically drive me around to deliver my product until I was 16. And then I was putting almost 2,000 clicks on the vehicle every week, basically leaving school at 3 o'clock and getting home at 12 o'clock.
That's a creative solution, wasn't it? Getting your dad to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Getting my father to do it, that was a creative solution.
And what mistakes did you make that slowed your journey?
I think I took on too many jobs. I had on average when I was 14, 3 jobs. And then when I entered university, I had close to 12 different positions. Either I did things like marking, I did things like a TA, I did various little positions, but I never focused on one thing. It made me a lot of money when I was young, and I was able to pay off my student loan in a short period of time. But I think focusing on one thing, which is what I'm doing today with SimplyCast. Where I'm putting potentially all my eggs in one basket, but putting all my effort, and it's been a rewarding effort because it's increased our value tremendously compared to me, focusing on 6 or 7 different things back when I was young.
And what are some of the things that you did before you started your business that would be helpful tips to some of the listeners who haven't yet taken the first step on the entrepreneur way?
I think your best bet, and it's probably against what most people would tell you, work in another business, learn as much as you can about that business. You're not trying to compete with that business, but learning the way the founder works in that business and the effort and time that they put into the business is something that you should consider before starting your business. Owning a business is a 25-hour job, and there's not enough time in the day. You're sleeping, you're eating at work, and you're thinking about work constantly. It is a roller coaster that if you truly don't believe in your commitment into that business, chances are that business will fail, and 95% of businesses do fail. It's not because people run out of money and so on. It's because the commitment of the founder is no longer there, and then solutions never come up.
That's a great answer you've given there, Saeed. A good summary of what it's like to be an entrepreneur. And working on someone else's dime, which is how someone else has described what you've talked about there, is something that a few people have suggested. It seems like a great idea, that. So thank you for that. Can we just talk about the entrepreneurial journey a little bit here, moving forward a bit? So when you start a business, do you think culture is important from the beginning?
It is the most important thing before you write your business plan, is to decide what your culture will be.
And how? So you've done that in your business. So how can you give some examples of what the culture is you've created in your business?
Definitely, and I think the cultural norms of SimplyCast has come from my mother as well. My mother has always said to us at a young age, a person is always the same on the inside. It doesn't matter what they look on the outside. You should treat them all the same. This is a similar opportunity and similar culture that we've created at SimplyCast, is that we don't really care about what you look like, what your color is, what your religion is, how tall you are, how short you are, or anything else in between, female or male or anything in between as well. All we care about is that you have the same set of rules and understanding of what we're trying to do, and you're joining us in a journey to create an impact for small businesses around the world and creating the best communication platform. And all we care about at the end of the day is a simple philosophy that we came up with, a single rule at SimplyCast, is that we care about one thing, is to make you the best employee and the best person in the world, and we're going to do everything in our power to ensure that you succeed as a person, because if you succeed as a person, and every person succeeds at SimplyCast, SimplyCast will be successful as well. So we focus on the individual rather than focus on the company.
That's a good way of getting the best results, that. Knowing what you know now, is there anything that if you'd known it when you'd started out would have helped you to shortcut the learning curve?
Oh, definitely. I think investing more in the business and focusing our effort on a single task as a group would have been a much more a great strategy for the company, where our company basically was scatterbrained early on because we had to do what we had to do, building 15 channels of communication, where we weren't best at any one of them. It took us about 2 years before we became the number one in the marketing automation space. Today, if you look around the internet, we're either number 2, number 3, number 4, but we're always in the top 10. And that's really the focus of our team, making sure that we deliver on the value that our customers are looking for.
And how much does gut feeling influence your decisions in your business?
I would probably say early on it would have been 70% to 30% decision. Today I would probably say it's probably around 40-60, where 60 is informed decision based on data and 40% on gut.
Yeah, which is obviously, in the beginning you don't have the data, do you? So you have to rely more on your gut feeling. Is that the reason
Correct.
for the difference? Yeah,
that's correct.
And what advice would you give to other business owners that may be struggling in a business?
I think the biggest problem is, as you probably already know, and the listeners of the show, is we always say it's lonely at the top. But I think it's really a choice that we make to make it lonely at the top. For me, for example, I talk about a lot of things that happen in my company with a lot of different people. There's no one person that knows the full story, which is probably a strategy that I made early on. Of the issues. So I talked to one person about pricing. I talked to another person about strategy. I talked to another person about HR. And I think I always try to go back to one or two people about the same issue. And talking about it is something that's very important. And I think we need to be cognizant of talking about the issue potentially will get your brain to think about solutions, where keeping it in your brain and fearing the consequences of it potentially will reduce your ability to make a better decision.
Yeah. Life is made of constant change, whether we like it or not. And some people say the only constant is change. Saeed, how do you try to keep up with change?
I basically embrace it. If we're not changing, for example, for the last year, I've allowed pretty much every responsibility, and I do this every quarter. I give up a quarter of what my responsibilities to someone else in the company. And I've been doing that for the last 5 years of the company. And it's been a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to have every member of the team kind of take some of those responsibilities and run with them. And it allowed me to grow as a person. And with that, almost 25% of my time is always changing at all times. And eventually, within a year, 100% of my duties are gone, right? So I'm always embracing change as a person, and I'm not taking control of anything specific within the organization, which allows our company to grow, and it also allows our employees to have constantly 25% of their time changing as well, which allows them to grow.
So effectively, you've moved yourself from working in the business to working at the business. Is that what the effect of that has been?
Yeah, that is correct. And, at the end of the day, if your business is growing, you shouldn't be doing the same thing that you did 5 years ago.
Wow, I've never heard anyone come up with that. That's a great idea.
Yeah, and it's something that I've kind of adopted as a strategist myself, because if you're trying to control your company, then you're trying to control your competition to take over the market from you.
Yeah, you have to be careful though. You might work yourself out of a job.
Yeah, which is fine, because if you're getting yourself out of a job and your company's not growing, that means you're not actually doing a good thing for your company.
Yeah, absolutely. And what is your favourite book on entrepreneurialism, business, personal development, leadership, or motivation? And can you tell us why you have chosen it?
Yeah, I think I'm going to choose this book very carefully, just because I think everyone should read this book. And it's Crossing the Chasm by Jeffrey Moore. Not sure if you heard of it before.
Yeah, I've read it. It's a great book. It's a
great book, and the reason why I choose it is that it's a timeless book. It doesn't matter what business that you're in. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. And there's many books that I read that I would recommend as well. But this one specifically is because it provides access to you thinking strategically and picking the right target market, which is something that I did wrong early in my days. I only read that book in my university days, and I wish that I would have read it when I was younger, but it probably wasn't printed back then, or wasn't even created by Mr. Jeffrey Moore. So it's one of those great books that once you understand how the chasm works, you potentially could reduce your failure rate by a big percentage.
Yeah. I remember reading that book, actually, and that concept of the chasm, I just sort of thought, that is just so obvious. Why does no one ever talk about that? Because obviously running a small business is not the same as running a big business, and some people will try to scale a small business and they struggle because they fall down in the chasm effectively, don't they?
Exactly, and the valley of death is something that everybody should be aware of. Just because you're in it doesn't mean that your business is failing. You just need to figure out a way to get out of it very quickly. It's think of it as you're sitting in a big hole and water is dripping at a constant rate, and you know that it's going to fill up eventually because that hole can't take any more water. The question is, how are you going to get out of it, or are you going to dig deeper to allow the water to go elsewhere, or are you going to climb out of that area? And that's where the business is. If you kind of have a mental picture of a hole filling with constant water stream and how long it will take you, that's really what each business person is doing on a daily basis, trying to figure out: am I going to tread water, or am I going to get out of this hole and maybe create another hole?
Mm-hmm. Everyone, when you have a busy life, listening to audiobooks is a great way to expand your knowledge in the time when you may be doing other things, such as driving or when you're at the gym. We have a special offer for you of a free audiobook of your choosing. To choose your free audiobook, go to www.freeaudiobookoffer.com. As long as you haven't already signed up, then you will qualify. Saeed, we're now going to speculate about the future a little bit. So, what one thing would you do with your business if you knew that you could not fail?
I would probably hire more people.
Okay.
And the reason for that is that our business really relies right now. We've scaled every part of our business in a way that is optimized. And our biggest challenge is that our employees are taking on a lot of activities. And if we can hire more people today, knowing that we're not going to fail, potentially could help us increase the business probably by 2 to 3 folds.
Mm-hmm. And what skill, if you were excellent at it, would help you the most to double your business?
I think our biggest skill, which I'm really good at personally, is selling. However, not allowing each member of my team to learn that skill, because it took a long time for me. It almost took me 10 years to become who I am today as a salesperson and account manager. And time is a precious thing that we can't turn every single person into that perfect selling machine. And that's something that I've been working on for the last number of years to figure out the best way to allow those type of skills to be transferred to my team.
Yeah. In 5 years from now, if a well-known business publication was publishing an article on your business after talking to your customers and suppliers, what would you like it to say?
I would like to say that the SimplyCast team worked really hard to create the best technology in the world that made an impact on how small businesses, medium businesses are communicating with their customers using their preferred mode of communication. And if it wasn't for our technology, which becomes mission critical to almost every business around the world, they wouldn't be able to have the great customer experience and the personal engagement that the SimplyCast platform has given them, and no other solution was able to provide the same type of service.
Sounds good. We're now at the part of the show where you share 3 golden nuggets with us. So, Saeed, what is your favourite quote and how have you applied it?
Yeah, so I guess my favorite quote that I came up with a number of years ago is that at SimplyCast we celebrate failure and we reward success. And the reason why we have done that early on in the company is that we want innovation at SimplyCast, and we want to allow every member of the team to make mistakes. If you are punished by making mistakes, chances are you're not going to innovate, and chances are we're going to fall behind as an organization. So we always celebrate failure, but when you succeed in our company, you will get rewarded either monetary, promotion, or just a pat on the back. So that is a model that we've created early on and we've stuck with, and it's been really good to us.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. I was talking to somebody the other day, and he was saying that in his business they have meetings and they talk about the failures over the last period of time, whether it's a week or a couple of weeks or something like that. So it's a similar type of philosophy.
Right.
Yeah, because I think fear of failure stops you from obviously trying new things. So obviously you have to be prepared to fail to succeed ultimately.
We've never fired somebody for failing at our company.
And do you have any favourite online resources that you could share with us?
Yeah, so I think Inc.com is probably one of my favorite resources, and TechCrunch.com would be the other one that I read probably at least twice a week.
And what is your best advice to other entrepreneurs?
Yeah, my best advice is that don't give up and always treat people the way you want to be treated. So if you can combine those two, you would be a wonderful leader that almost everyone will be vying to support and help you grow your business.
Everyone, if you didn't manage to get a note of Saeed's favourite resource or his favourite books, you can find the links on Saeed's show notes page. Just go to theentrepreneurway.com and search for Saeed or Saeed El-Darahali in the search box. Saeed, is there anything else that you'd like to add about your business?
No, I mean, it's been definitely a great journey for us to build the business. I'd like to offer every one of your listeners a free subscription to our solution. All you have to mention to via email or phone is mention Saeed, and we'll actually deposit $50 into your account as a thank you for Neil and his great show.
Thank you very much for that, Saeed. It's been an honour having you on the show, Saeed. You really shared some of your experience and some of your wisdom, which has been really nice to hear. So thank you very much, and thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks, Neil, for having me. It's a pleasure being on your show, and thanks for all the great work you're doing in the background.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to The Entrepreneur Way. Subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Twitter at Neil D. Ball.